right? And we've been talking about how the dark places within ourselves and the light places within ourselves, we need it all. It's all a part of who we are. It's all a part of our wholeness, and that we can't really be and embrace our true selves unless we love and embrace those dark parts of ourselves. And so really, for me, this has been what my life journeys have been about so far, is like uncovering those dark places and learning to love them. And it's been challenging. I'm sure it has been for you too. But it is part of our wonderful evolutionary process as spiritual beings having a human experience. So some gifts about the dark places that we've been are that, when we get through them, we actually can feel stronger and we become more resilient. So there's gifts in those things, right? Did you ever go through something that was so challenging that you just didn't think you could make it? Right? And did you find out that you were stronger than you thought you were? Or maybe you got through that because you were saying to yourself, with God, all things are possible. And perhaps you developed a stronger sense of faith as a result, right? So these hard things, these dark places that we've been through, it reminds me of, planting a seed or going into winter where we can think about and contemplate, and then when spring comes, the seed starts to sprout and a new chapter of our life shows up. So many years ago, in 2013, I went through one of the most challenging times of my life. But before that, I was like plagued with this thing called self-doubt. I didn't feel like I was the person I needed to be in order to show up in the world as Spirit was nudging me to be. And so I had this self-doubt that kept saying, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough experience. I kept comparing myself to other people. I don't know if you've ever had that, but oh, good. I'm not the only one, but of course. So in 2013, I went through this really hard time. It went on for months and months, and I couldn't do it by myself. I mean, I reached out for peer support, I reached out for prayer, I reached out. And, it was a choice that I made, and once I got through to the other end, the other side, it took some time to recover from the process. But what happened for me was I realized that if I could go through what I just went through, that I could do anything. I was capable of anything. And so that thing called self-doubt disappeared. I was feeling very empowered. And what I realized was, as a result of making the choice to go through what I went through, it was my soul's opportunity to really let go of that thing that was holding me back, right? That thing that was holding me back from really being and doing what Spirit was wanting me to do. So I'm going to just give us an invitation to think about what areas of your own self are holding you back in your life. Today's talk title is about lights, camera, action. And what they're talking about is taking center stage on in your own life's play and letting your light shine really brightly. So what are those things within us, in you, that may be holding you back? So I'm just going to give us the opportunity to go within for a moment, and I'll lead us in this guided meditation. And so I invite us to just allow ourselves to become aware of that presence within us. Become aware of the heartbeat and our breathing. And begin to allow ourselves to connect in with our higher wisdom self. And we're just going to ask our higher wisdom self a couple of questions. And the question we can ask is, what is it within myself that has been holding me back from taking the center stage of my own life and allowing my light to shine brightly? What is it within myself that has been holding me back? The second question is, what resources and skills are available to me that would allow me to move forward and let my light shine brightly? What resources and skills do I have available to me that I can utilize to move forward in letting my light shine brightly? And now when you're ready, I invite you to begin to open your eyes again. Begin to bring your presence awareness back into the room. And I just give us this invitation to take time out of your busy life to do this once in a while. You know what? We're living in the most amazing times. This is like, it looks like we're going to hell in a handbasket, right? Everything's falling apart. The structures and systems that no longer serve our highest good are falling apart. The banks are collapsing. But you know what? I have faith. I have faith that something wonderful and amazing is emerging. We're coming out of the chaos. Well, we still may be going into more of it, but there is that wonderful thing called life that is expanding. It expands within us and all around us. There's amazing things happening too, in addition to the falling apartness. Did you know that there's now hydrogen-powered cars on the road that only emit water? How wonderful is that? Did you know that we no longer need to use banks to put our money in, that we can use cryptocurrency? It's catching on more and more. And one of the beautiful things about it is it can be open sourced and transparent, so it can really cut down on corruption. Of course, there's some projects that are corrupt out there, but there's a lot more. There's thousands of projects going on out there. Did you know that we can actually own our own money? Did you know that you don't own your own money when you put your money in the bank? We think that's our money, right? But once we put it in the bank can do whatever they want with our money. You may have heard of people's bank accounts getting frozen, right? Well, with cryptocurrency, decentralized systems, we can actually own our own money and send it to one another. We don't need that bank. So wonderful things are happening in the world. And I just invite us to think about, what is ours to do? Like I heard Jared in his song and Rev Lanny's message. We each have our own unique individualized gifts. Only us, only ourselves can share it. And we're all important, an important part in the process. So what is yours to do? You know, what are your unique gifts and talents? I used to think that I needed to focus on the things that I'm not good at and to make those better in order to make a better contribution to the world. And then I was taking some training one time, and they said, instead of doing that, why don't you focus on the things that you're really good at? And that kind of like made sense to me, right? Because I was trying to be something other than I was. That's what it felt like before. But how about just being who I am and doing those things? That was kind of a light bulb moment for me. So I invite you to do the same. So what is yours to do? That's the question. There's so many opportunities in the world for us to make a positive impact on the world. Like some of us are working on climate change and education. Some of us are donating to wonderful causes. Some of us are helping feed the hungry. What is yours to do? Are you doing it, or is there something holding you back? Is there something within you that has been holding you back? This is the time. I mean, oh my gosh, I probably say this every time I talk. What is going on in the planet needs us to shine our lights brightly now more than ever. So I hope we just continue to do this. So one of the things I noticed, I want to thank everybody for turning in their surveys and for participating in visioning. If you didn't know, today we're having a board meeting, and is there still a hard copy? There's still a hard copy survey available on that round table. If you would like your survey presented to the board today, please fill that out and hand it to one of us, board members or whatever, because we are asking for your input during this time of transition so that we can co-create together that which is wanting to emerge. I'm just so grateful for this community that we keep having a place to come to and be with one another. There's going to be a whole bunch of classes and workshops coming up. A wonderful book study is coming up I'm really excited about. That will probably be happening in June, and classes and workshops are happening that's in July, and then this will be happening in June. So one of the things that I noticed through going through the surveys and visioning is people were wanting to bring back dinners for 8. Is there anybody in here that wants to do that? All right. So here's the process. We contact Juanita. Let's let Juanita know. Who would like to get us started in getting that together? I can't do everything, right? We're in a community. We need each of us to step up. So I would like to see a show of hands. Who would like to get us started in the dinners for 8? Oh, in case you don't know, Dinners for 8 is something we used to do a long time ago. We really loved it. And people would host people to come over for dinner. We called it Dinners for 8. This year, we could call it Dinners for 4 or 6. There's not as many of us as there used to be. So it's a fun time to just get together, have dinner together, and get to know one another better. It's a really fun thing. That's a very good question. Do you remember? Did we make it a potluck? Thank you. So in case you didn't hear that, the host makes the main dish, and then they get someone to bring the side dishes. And it's fun. And it's really fun to get to know people better. So who would like to get us started? Just raise your hand.
So we usually just have a sign-up sheet. So mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll get Juanita to help us, support us with that, to get the sign-up sheets. Cool. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to it. Another thing, if anyone feels called to dance on this dance floor that we have, this wonderful dance floor, let's do that too. So there's all kinds of fun things we get to do, but we need to do it together, right? It's not up to me. So, thank you. And, that's one of those things that allows us to deepen in our relationship as a community. And we might get to know some people that need something, right? And we can give. One of the wonderful things about being in community is being of service. I don't know about you, but this is not my favorite thing to do. Being on the stage, I had so much resistance for such a long time because I had that self-doubt, right? I didn't think I was good enough or whatever. So I recognize that this is an opportunity for me to give to my community, right? And that's why I do it, because I love you. I love this community, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I know I've said that before, but I just want to remind you that this is one of the gifts that we get to give, is from being in community, is to give of our time, talents, and treasures. So thank you very much. And I just want you to know that I recognize that sometimes we are held back because we're afraid of making mistakes or making blunders or whatever. And so I just want to leave us with this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And he says, "Do not be too timid and squeamish about your actions. All of life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better." So it is. And I would just like to end with a prayer. So I invite us to go within. Knowing that there is only one, that infinite power and presence that I call Spirit, God, that it is in, through, and as each one of us here, that infinite power and presence and wisdom is at the center and core of our being. We are beautiful expressions of this infinite creator that is always creating through us, as us. And so I know for this community that we are creative. We cannot not be creative. That we are the divine in form. And so this is a sacred and holy community filled with inspiration and love and joy. And we are co-creating a wonderful experience of connectedness, authenticity, vulnerability, and living out loud and shining our light brightly. And so I give thanks for the opportunities that are showing up right here and right now in this community for us to come together in love and joy and happiness and vulnerability and authenticity. And so I give thanks for knowing that the perfect process is unfolding for each one of us individually and all of us as a center. Knowing that God is this center, that this is a beautiful expression of God in form as each one of us here. And so I give thanks. I give thanks for all of it, no matter what it looks like, knowing that it's perfect and is exactly what we need, that there is nothing missing here, there is nothing wrong. The process is perfect. And so I claim this for our center, that this process we are going through together is a beautiful experience. We are getting to know one another better and love more deeply, coming together in community, being of service. And I just say thank you, God, for this wonderful blessing and all the blessings that continue to flow through us as this center. And I simply release my word as we say together, and so it is.